Greetings. Welcome to the Peace Place. I'm Judy, penman of Prayons and founder of the Peace Movement. Today I bring you a repentant uh, prayon today, a way for us to step away from the puffed up ways that we often go through our days. And the prayon for today is called Repentant Hunger. I invite you to join me to contemplate, to reflect, and to listen for the still small voice within us that says, yeah, that's you. And then we become positioned, and so we can be a useful vessel to bring the tenderness of God's love and the power of His plan to earth today. So join me for repentant hunger. We come to sit in your presence and hear from your heart. You say, don't get weary while we're walking out our heart to heart. God, we come now to wonder and ask as we're so divided for your plan, your strategy, and abiding power you provided. For times such as these, where fear and shout down reigns, motivating more divisive strategies intending to gain power over, takes us further from your abiding peace. God, forgive, correct, and draw us, reveal, and then release. Release your wisdom and conviction to see through the smog, embrace and learn humility, willingness to see our own logs, the logs in our eyes, blinding us from seeing our rotten fruit as we try our ways to resolve with fear generated pursuit. God, remind us you said, minds on you have perfect peace. As we stand in veiled fear, we can continue only to release desperate, helpless cries as we attempt to control all sides of this mess we've made. Holy God, will you show? Show us your intentions and the strategies from your hand. As we fall to our knees, search our hearts, so we then stand in your will, in your intention for these next days. God, draw all hearts, teach your peace, reveal your ways. Then help us hear from the battering in which we walk. Turn the divisiveness and the destructive backroom talk. Awaken us to our part in bringing your will to the earth. Release wisdom and courage to replace plastic mirth. For as we discredit and dishonor and claim to be kidding, we use our position to bully and intimidate in our ridding of all disagreeing with our fully loaded defense. Oh God, we so need you to exchange truth for pretense. We stand before you offering our worship and hands raised. As we rise from our knees after acknowledging, we often praise man's solutions. Yet we desperately need your way to guide every step as we take these next days, seeking your voice. If we haven't known the realness, the availability, the presence, and the power of God, then all we have is man's ways. We've embraced many agendas that have nothing to do with love, have nothing to do with honor, and have nothing to do with discovering the gift and the purpose for each person. We can shift our focus. We can become part of solutions rather than defensive part of the problems, where we talk about our well-defended ways. Well, that's part of what we've learned to do and part of how we've learned to survive. But we can come into the presence of God where there is perfect peace. We can learn to know God intimately. And to be able to do that much of the time, we have to face all the things that we have habitually taken on that do not bring us to a place of peace or bring others to even be able to be related in relationship with us. So much of the process that's used today is the focus is out there on who we can find to blame. But ultimately, it is our choices that we make. It's the way that we think, the way that we've learned, the way that we defend that keep us in the position of going around and around the same mountain every time. God says to us, do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, the only the only way that happens is a mighty, holy, supernatural, all powerful God gets a hold of us, and we finally discover after a while that God is wiser than our personal ways and our personal agendas, and that we truly have access. Many people are taught that we're too bad to be able to be loved by God, and that's not true. The truth is that God's mercy and His grace is new every day. God is interested and able to bring us back into a place that we can be guided by love, that we can be forgiven, we can be healed, we can be restored, we can be set on the right path. I would not have believed that that was possible until God got a hold of my heart to show me why He has me here at this time. He has a good story and a good plan for each one of us. And much of the time it is clouded by, I call it smog here. It is clouded by foggy ideas and ideas that are in error and directions that don't lead to the peace that passes all understanding, but lead to much other. We can become part of um, humanity that is part of solutions and restoration rather than the divisiveness and the over control and the oppression that is available in so many of the agendas, because unless the agendas are pushing that each of us have a value, we belong to God. That is love. God will teach us more about that every day, and He will show us our piece in the amazing puzzle of life, the tapestry of life, the part that He wove or He placed for us, that we can become part of solutions. If you're interested in becoming part of the solution rather than the repetitive, round the mountain, divisive ways that so many are offered in the world today, then you're welcome to join us here at the Peace Movement. You can subscribe here on our channel and tell other people about us, because the way that God wrote the plan of love, the plan of truth, says that He has a plan for each one of us. He says that when we call on Him, He'll answer us. I've found that to be more true and more faithful than anything that I have explored, and spent lots of decades exploring many of the agendas and many of the offerings of man, and none of that is this. So you can find me at prayoms.com. That's PRAYOEMS.com. Find me at the Peace Movements. Look for the place where the praying hands are, for we so desperately need the plan of God, the love of God, and the ways of God in our world that is desperately lost desperately divided. And um, so I invite you to join me on that journey. This is Judy, wishing you peace, love, and joy today, signing off for today with Repentant Hunger.